Hey guys, I'm taking a leave of absence from my job. I work with kids before and after school program, coming back in a month or two, and the kids, my goodbye message to them was letting them know the Cain and Abel story, and Cain being the person who his sacrifices aren't being honored by God, and he has no idea why, but God lays it down at his feet and says that basically, if you performed well, would you not be rewarded according to your performance, And I love that because God is basically letting him know. I'm paraphrasing, by the way. It says something along those lines, but God is letting Cain know that you're not so special that the world has a personal vendetta against you specifically. It's the way it's your mode of being. It's the way you behave. If anybody behaved the way that you did, they're likely to encounter the same type of circumstances. Why is that? Why is it that certain types of adversity seems to follow certain character arcs? You know, you notice how certain people, they always have the same complaints, they always have the same issues, and then you meet people that remind you of them, and they end up in the same unfavorable circumstance, and they have the same mindsets, beliefs and principles, and it's like your belief system has a landing strip, and you're being navigated by it, or this, it's your GPS. You're going to land somewhere because of what you believe, and if you don't believe the right things or the things that are better for you to believe, then when circumstances are not ideal, you might blame the universe for that. But it's always a safe bet to look at yourself and your own insufficiencies and what you're doing wrong. And I was letting these kids know, if you struggle with getting friends or no one seems to like you, try asking them why won't they play with you. They'll tell you exactly why. And ask yourself, would you really play with you if you met yourself? You know what I'm saying? There's a good chance that a lot of dislikable people, they wouldn't even like themselves if they met people who remotely reminded them of themselves. Why is that? I think it's because likable traits are universal, dislikable traits are universal. If I have dislikable traits, I could go to Taiwan, China, North Korea, South Korea, Africa. It don't matter. It doesn't matter where I'll go. I'll be disliked for the same reasons. And in the Cain and Abel story, obviously he slays his own brother because he can't get a hold of his own jealousy. Can't stand the fact that someone's significantly doing better than him. But I let the kids know that you don't want to get mad that someone is excelling in life and doing way better than you. Ask questions, have some humility. Ask the person who's doing better than you. Like if Cain would have talked to his brother, hey, what is it about me that the world is not rewarding? What is it about you that you seem to be doing so well? How can I incorporate more of you into myself so that I could have more favorable outcomes? That would have been such an ingenious thing to do. But of course, is what he didn't do. He slayed his brother because he's more concerned with criticizing reality than he is concerned with how can I adapt to it. And it's better to figure out how to be adaptable, because there's so many things that after you exhaust your energy complaining about it, it's going to continue to be as it is anyways, and then it's like, well, what was the point of complaining about it? Just for it to turn around and be as it is no matter what, and all that exhausted effort that could have been utilized into modifying your character. Because it's like, what hope do I have of changing this world? There's one of me, there's too much of the world. Like trying to modify a planet. Like, good luck with that. You better hope that whatever's wrong with the world, it's mostly you, so that you could try to modify that, because there's a whole world inside of you, and there's a world inside of you that needs tending to, and we don't tend to that world because we want to tend to other people and their insufficiencies and what annoys them about us, and pointing fingers and things like that. So I wanted to let these kids know, if you struggle with having friends, pay attention to those that don't seem to have that struggle, and pay attention to what is it about them that people seem to gather around them and always want to play games with them. They're always invited to play, and you're never invited to anything. Why is that? Be curious about these things, and with the desirability to learn and grow, and to know that whatever your circumstances have been, you're not limited to those type of circumstances. You've been getting those type of circumstances because of the character arc that you embrace. If you were to take on a different character arc, life experiences, what you experience itself could change because of who you've become. You know what I'm saying? Because having is a product of being. People that tend to be a certain way, they tend to have certain things. So if it's a bunch of unfavorable outcomes, there's certain people, once I know how they think, I'm not surprised at where they are, because I've met hundreds of people with the same thought patterns, and they're in the same place. So yeah. Anyways, this is my message. This was my goodbye message to the kids. It's kind of my message to the world. And back when I used to complain a lot, I used to be miserable and used to have all these expectations. I realized that it's impossible to be mad at you unless I have expectations that you don't fulfill, and now I'm mad at you because you didn't fulfill them. And I started asking myself, wait, hold on a second. Like, people aren't here to please me. They're not here to be what I want them to be. Actually, one of my favorite quotes: "We get mad at people for not being what we wish they were." You know what I'm saying? And what I learned from listening to Jim Rohn is, when you meet a liar, why would you expect truth from a liar? You know, and it's like, wow, that's so good. You know, because we expect truth from liars. We expect kindness to come from the unkind. We expect consideration to come from the inconsiderate. Once you spend about 30 to 50 hours with somebody, you could pretty much gauge what's likely to be expected from them. And the thing is that we expect people to jump out of the category that they're in and jump into a category that would be more pleasing to us. You know, if you're a liar, well, you should be somebody who tells the truth. And now I'm going to forever be mad at you because you don't tell the truth. And it's like, if I know you for 8 years and I know that you lie, why would I expect anything from you besides what you are? Because people don't know how to be anything else other than what they are. And a lot of times what we expect from people is for them to be something other than what they are. You know, perfect example of a minor inconvenience, or what could be a major inconvenience. A lot of people can't handle the fact that you stop your vehicle, someone didn't thank you for your kind gesture, and you feel like they owe you a thank you. A scenario like that, I'm like, you know what, like, you would have gotten to your destination with or without me. I'm not the reason you got to your destination, and you don't have to wave your hand as a sign of appreciation that I stopped my vehicle for you. Like, I don't need that. I don't need you to perform certain actions. I don't need you to say certain words in order for me to have a sense of fulfillment. And God forbid if I ever need those things, because if I ever need those things, I'm basically preconditioned to always be in a bad mood because of what somebody else is doing or not doing, saying or not saying, and which means my emotions are never under my control. It's always the world controlling it. And this is why life is unnecessarily hard sometimes, because, you know, life is hard enough as it is. And life is harder when you're stupid. And the beautiful thing about life is you don't have to be dumb. You don't have to be stupid, you know? And to me, I think what stupidity really means is the inability to recognize patterns, you know? If you complain about something and that thing you complain about has continued to be as it is anyways for 25 plus years, why on a 26 year you're still complaining? You know what I mean? That's just bad pattern recognition. It's good to know how the world is and to be indifferent towards it, not really have such an emotional reaction towards the world being a certain way, because it's like, what can I do to modify that? Nothing, you know? And the best use of energy is, what can I do to change me, you know? Because if I don't plan my own life, well, what does my neighbor have planned for me? Not much. If I don't, you know, the government, what do they have planned for me if I don't plan my own life? The government doesn't have much planned for me, nor do my neighbors, or, you know. So Jim Rohn says a lot of people don't do well because they major in minor things. And he says, as you go out through your week, make sure that the time that you spend, you're not majoring in things that are minor, you know. Someone else's political views and getting mad at that, such a minor thing. Someone having a viewpoint different than you, getting upset, such a minor thing. Major things, the way you think, you know, the desired outcomes that you have for yourself, your goals, your dreams, the things that you want to accomplish before you die, you know. And a meditative practice that I've been doing is, I ask myself, if I had 10 minutes left to live, what would be the things that ultimately matter? Let me make a list of those things. And it's amazing to me how many things don't make that list. It's about 5 things that matter, and I'll give you all 5. 1, is God real? Yes or no? I do believe He's real. 2, if He's real, there's expectations that He has of me. Did I fulfill those? 3, what was my life purpose? Did I accomplish that? 4, was I pleasing to God? Did I live? And 5, did I make the meaningful sacrifices? Did I do what I came here to do? Those are the 5 things that matter to me. So when frustration comes, or I'm tempted to be annoyed because someone said something dumb or whatever it is that they did that is now tempting me to be pissed off at them, I ask myself, the thing I'm getting ready to complain about, if I had 10 minutes left to live, would it even be remotely, minutely important at all? And it's like, it's amazing how many things don't make the list of what ultimately matters. And I try to live my life in a manner that if I have 100 years left to live, I want to allow only the things that matter to matter, you know. And I don't want to take something that doesn't matter at all and treat it as if it's the thing that matters the most, because there's so many things that we pay attention to that just don't matter, and we take what matters least and treat it as if it's what matters most, and then what matters most gets neglected. And you know, the graveyard is full of so much potential, you know, wasted potential, and yeah. what I like about, the life of Christ is he was a very mission orientated person, and there's like no account of him complaining about the structure of reality, because it's like, I came here to make the necessary sacrifice and then leave. I came here to fulfill my purpose and then leave. I came here to have an impact and then leave. You know, and he wasn't trying to sort things out. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we meet people that are liars, and we're like, oh well, you should tell the truth, and we try to sort people out, and it's like, it's not my place. You know what I mean? It's not my place to put you in a category that you belong in, you know, or to modify you, change you, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've learned to let go of expectations. I've learned when I meet people as they are, expect them to be what they are instead of expecting them to be what I wish they were. Yeah, and then just mercy and forgiveness, and that's just easy for me now. A lot of the times, I've learned that when I meet people that I dislike, it's not even them that I dislike, it's their character traits. If I met 100 people that were identical to them in the way they behave, I would dislike all 100 people for the same reasons. So you see how it's not even a person that you dislike, it's the character traits. Because you can meet the same character traits in a different person and like and dislike a different person for the same reason. Why is that? And I don't know if I said this in this video because I repeated this video so many times. I kept having to redo it. But I think dislikable traits are universal and likable traits are universal. I could go somewhere and be liked for the same reasons and disliked for the same reasons. Doesn't matter if I'm in Taiwan, Africa, Japan, Europe, Asia. I take my dislikable traits with me. Then I take the same results that I've been getting in America and I just transfer them over to a different country, and then I might come to the conclusion that it's, well, no one likes me, and it's like, no, it's I'm imitating the wrong things, and when I was the most miserable, I just imitated the wrong things. I imitated the thought process of a person who is resentful towards the world or is unhappy, blaming other people for his unfortunate circumstance, and you know and because I imitated those things, I ended up with the landing strip for that belief system was to similar places as other people who also think the same, you know. So yeah, I just have so much to share. How far am I? I'm 12 minutes in. I hope this is edifying. I hope this is uplifting. And yeah, forgiveness for me became easy when I realized it's not even you that I dislike. That was a real turning point for me. It's the character traits. And what I learned is people have potential, and a lot of people are living out the lowest form of self. They're mediocre forms, and it's not even them I have a problem with. It's the fact that they're forfeiting their destiny. It's the fact that they choose to be mediocre. People show up in the world not their highest self, and that's what I'm reacting to. So I just refuse to believe that it's you that I'm reacting to if I'm starting to get annoyed with you. It's the lower version of you, and I'm convinced in my heart and soul that if you were what God created you to be, you have no choice but to be likable. You have no choice but to be magnificent. You have no choice but to be amazing, And if you're not so amazing, well then, one, you're imitating the wrong things, and two, who knows what your mentors is, or maybe you're a product of your environment, or might not have any mentors. There's somewhere in Proverbs it says where there's a lack of mentors, entire cities collapse. So yeah, getting back to this message that I gave to these kids, I didn't want them to be reprehensible kids that nobody likes. I didn't want them to go through life and have no friends. And life is that much harder when you have no allies, because when things fall apart, the people that are your enemies probably could have been your allies, and they probably could have gotten you through some things, did you some favors. But who's going to do a favor for the person they don't like? Nobody, And I'm not saying that the world should be without mercy or without grace. It's just acknowledging how the world actually is, how it operates, and it's like, popularity isn't everything, but it's certainly not nothing, And if more people like you, the world is almost like on your side when you could get a lot of people to like you. Not that that should be the ultimate goal, but there's no arguing that life is easier when you have people on your side, and life is about people. And a lot of people that leave behind suicide notes, they start feeling like nobody likes them. Nobody, if they died, who the hell would notice, And the fact that they feel that way, maybe that's proof that life is about people. And they feel the impact of not having nobody around, Because, what they say about your net worth, your network is your net worth, If you network with the right people, you can get to the right places. So yeah, and only two options we have is be resentful because you have unfavorable outcome and circumstances, or figure out how to be adaptable and with a cheerful heart be willing to make the proper sacrifices and the proper changes in order to ensure that you live the life that you're supposed to. You know, I have a friend who he pisses off his wife so much that she sleeps in a different room sometimes, or she sleeps upstairs. And he doesn't like that. But it's like, well, have you tried not doing the things that makes her go up there and sleep in a different apartment? You know, she'll go to her mom's house and sleep upstairs. And it's like, you might not think that wives should do that, husbands should do that, but you know, it's a good thing to ask yourself, what is it about me that you want nothing to do with me? You don't even want to share the same oxygen as me. You don't want to be near me. Why? You know, instead of thinking that you shouldn't do that or you shouldn't react that way to me, what is it about me that's causing you to react that way to me? And maybe if I were to modify self, I could modify the daily interactions that me and you have, you know? And so I'm obsessed with this type of content and this type of thinking, this type of belief system, I guess. And my question to you guys is, how can I pair that with selling a product? I really love people, man. And hopefully you got that from this voice clip, I guess, video. And I really want to help. And there's so many people that perhaps maybe need this message. And none of what I'm saying is original, you know. I have people that I greatly look up to, such as, you know, Gary Vee, Jordan Peterson, you know, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Dan Mohler. Like, these are some of the speakers that I look up to. And a lot of the messaging that I have is just basically repackaged from a lot of the things that they're saying and just saying it my way, I guess, you know, and hoping that I have the highest amount of impact in the world. And that's part of the reason I joined this, because I know it's going to teach me marketing and how to get eyeballs on me, on the product, and how can I sell me, I guess, but as well as make some sales, you know. And I wonder if there's a way to make most of my videos about mindset but still get a crazy amount of sales like Michelle does. I don't know. It's not like I don't want to talk about the product at all, but my biggest product is that belief system. If there's anything I'm selling people, it's the idea that, you know, you could change and you don't have to re-experience the negative all the time. And you know, if you get rid of expectations, how can people ever let you down or disappoint you ever again? You know what I mean? You know, the more offended, if there's like 10,000 scenarios that offend you, well then it's like, you know, you came here thinking that people are here to serve you or be what you desire them to be, and it's like, people are very likely to be what they want to be, not what you desire them to be. And a lot of times there's no logic behind that. Sometimes we take stupid decisions people make, try to apply some type of logic behind it. We wonder why we give ourselves a headache. There's no logic behind stupid. You know what I mean? It's just stupid, like, you know. And as far as people, I don't even feel comfortable calling them stupid. I'd rather say that they're just misguided at the time. You know, maybe they'll come around. I feel like if I say, oh man, it's damn people, I get too emotionally attached to someone else's decision and what they're doing and what they're not doing. And then, you know, to the point where I lose sight of my mission and what I came here to do. And what I came here to do is not modify other people, but yet be the best representation of God that I could possibly be. And hopefully be a beacon of hope to someone else that feels like they have none. So, yeah, wondering how can I pair that with selling a product. Anyways, this message is long enough as it is. Sorry that it's 18 minutes. I do apologize, but anyone who listens all the way through, bless you. And yeah, if you could give me, I guess, feedback on what I said, and can I sell a product but mostly say what I said? I don't know. I have no idea. Love you guys very much, and talk to you soon.